everybody. I'm so glad to be back. My name is Kayla and welcome to Teach with Kay. Today what I'm going to be talking to you guys about, I'm going to be talking about my experience working as an after school program teacher for Girls Inc. and also my experience working with high school girls over the summer, also with Girls Inc. Right now I'm an after school program teacher for Girls Inc. This past year I started working with Girls Inc. back in 2015, I want to say, over the summer, working with the elementary school age at Concordia Summer. I got that position actually from my stepmom, and thank you, shout out to you, Drika, for that hookup. Thank you so much. It's blessed my life completely. Yeah, so I started working with Girls Inc. over the summer when I was a junior at San Francisco State over the summer. And what I pretty much did was I was kind of like a teacher's aide in a sense, really just making sure the kids were on task, making sure that all the girls had what they needed as far as supplies, as far as food, as far as making sure they checked in, signed out. Also making sure that the girls were on task, and if they needed help with whatever it is that they needed help with, whether they needed to step outside and talk to somebody, I was there for them. That's pretty much what my role entailed as a summer intern. So I did that summer 2015 and then also summer 2016 after I graduated from San Francisco State University. So fast forward probably a few months get into I can't talk right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Rewind to June of 2016. I was taking part in the training week for the summer internship, and how I ended up getting a job, I started talking to a lot of the coworkers there, to the people that I had built relationships with and from the previous summer, and one of the coordinators or one of the managers were saying how they were looking for applicants for the upcoming year. And we were talking, I was getting ready to leave, and she was like, "Hey Kayla, what are you doing? What are you doing right now?" I was like, "Hey, I just graduated from San Francisco State, looking for a job." And she was like, "Cool, why don't you go apply for our to be a program leader for the school year?" And I was like, "Perfect, why not? I've done this so many times. I've done this before. I've loved working with kids. I've always had a passion working with kids." Give you guys a backdrop. What I did, I always worked with kids. I've always worked with kids ever since I was, oh God, I'll even take it all the way back to since I was 3. I'm the oldest of 7 siblings, so I've definitely been around kids my entire life, even though me and my siblings are mainly all around the same age. I didn't really start getting into education or really thinking about education until I was a sophomore in high school. I heard about the Education Academy at my school, where a group of teachers to help high school kids learn more about the education system, learn more about what it means to be a teacher, as well as the different career aspects of the education system. I kind of joined because of the field trips, because you get to go on some dope field trips. Low key, really, you get to go on some dope field trips. So I was like down for the field trips. And then, I was like, I joined and I just loved it. Like, my family said, they'd be like, yeah, Kayla was into Education Academy, and I loved it. I was so passionate about it. But yeah, so I've been working with kids my entire life. It's definitely something that I've always wanted to do. It's not something I've always wanted to do, but it's something I like doing, or I love doing now, definitely, because I have a passion for it. Towards the end of the summer, I ended up getting hired at Girls Inc. I started off I started my job in August of 2016, which was last year, and school started August 21st of 2016. When I got hired, they asked me what grade level I wanted to do. I said, I don't really mind. It doesn't matter to me what grade level. So they placed me with second graders. And I was excited. I was like, I've never worked with second graders like that before. So it was something new, something different. It was definitely around the age group that I was interested in teaching interested in working with. So I ended up getting placed as a second grade teacher working with all girls. So in September, so school started in August 21st, 2016, and there was during orientation there was a girl who was supposed to be teaching the first graders, and we get through the orientation together. We're looking at the school, doing all the orientation procedures and just learning more about the school, meeting teachers, different things like that. And then she ends up leaving. Yeah, she ends up leaving. She ends up quitting, and I'm like, what? So what I had to do was once school actually started, I had to take on my second grade girls with all the first grade girls. So in total, I had about maybe a good 15 girls total, second and first grade. So the first 2 weeks of school, I was just focusing on, I had second and first grade. So first and second grade girls. So in the beginning of the year, I had pretty much just focused on the curriculum that they had wanted us to do. So which is community building, group activities, getting to know you, activities, different things like that. A lot of icebreakers. So I really started putting in that time to those different activities, really getting to know the girls and getting ready to, really for them getting to know me. When I first started, I was very nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous. I was terrified because I do not like speaking in front of people. And as kids notice everything. So I was like, are these kids gonna judge me? Like, what is gonna happen? Like, I was nervous as I don't know what. And so I ended up getting over that as time went on. I got to know the girls, they got to know me, and different things like that. So while I was having the first and second graders, there were girls and was already looking for another person to take on the first grade girl. So yeah, so that was like, it was definitely something that I enjoyed. So incoming first grade teacher took all the first graders to her class. So she had first graders, and I went back to my original second grade girls. Now, when I had just only second graders, I only had 7 girls. So mind you, coming from a group of girls that was maybe 13, 14, 15 of them to back down to 7 was a big transition, was something that I had to really adjust to. But which I seen when I first got the news that I was only gonna have like 5 to 7 girls, I was like, cool, smaller class, easy to. No. No. It was a struggle. It was kind of a struggle. It was cool. I really enjoyed working with them. But my year, I struggled a lot with kids coming in and out. And so I went with second graders for probably all the way up back into November. So this was October when I had all second graders, and I had them all the way up until November, because what happened was we couldn't recruit so many. We had a lot of trouble recruiting second grade girls into the program, so I ended up having to go back to first and second graders, which was cool because I was going to see a lot of the kids that I previously had. So I was super excited. Within that time frame, I had, like I said previously, I had a lot of girls come in and out of the program because due to various situations, various reasons. And so I ended up having first and second grade girls. And then now, working with elementary school kids and being a teacher was probably the hardest transition that I had to do, because prior to that, like I said previously, I was kind of like the teacher's assistant, the teacher's aide. I was always volunteering. I was never up front in the classroom at that as like the teacher the kids are looking at you. You got to prepare lessons. You got to get this. You got to handle classroom management. Those are things that I was not ready for, or I was not prepared for. And that really kind of showed in my the way I taught my kids. And so I'll be honest, I struggled with classroom management. I struggled with time management. I struggled with keeping my girls in line. I had a hard time with I had a lot of girls talk back. I had a lot of girls get upset, walk out classrooms. I was really struggling with classroom management. But as I continued to grow, as I continued to walking through the school year, I really I didn't want to give up on these girls. Like, that was my number one thing. Like, I did not want to give up on them. Mind you, there were times where I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. But there was something I couldn't let them go. I couldn't stop teaching them because I felt that because I was struggling. I couldn't do that. And prior to that, a lot of the second grade girls from the previous year before I came in, they were struggling with teachers coming in and out and having bad teachers. And I wanted them to understand. Once I heard that, I put it in my mind, and I felt like the Holy Spirit really wanted me to get this, is that when people were coming in and out of their lives, there was no consistency. I really wanted them to see that I was in this for them, and I was in it to see them grow. I love them so much that I wanted them to know that, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here for you. I'm here for you. And I have to be very, very careful about how our consistency, whether it's showing up, whether it's telling a kid that that you really appreciate them, giving them notes, doing things like that. So what I would do is when I started noticing that I was struggling and I wasn't being able to get my kids' attention as often because and I kind of did this towards the end of the school year, I started looking at YouTube videos. I really sought the advice of my coordinator, of my coworkers, trying to think of different ways that they had helped, that they have done classroom management, and really getting into. I teach in East Oakland, which is one of the roughest neighborhoods in Oakland. So I was kind of surprised, but I was not really shocked by some of the behavior issues. And I just did my best to let them know that I was there for them, to let them know that I care about you. That's what really kept me going throughout the year. And I just want to say one of the challenges that I had with some of my girls was the respect towards each other. So I spent the whole entire year basically trying to get them to respect one another. I know that they had like a lot of inconsistency as far as kids coming in and out, especially with second graders working with first graders and first graders working with second graders, and all the attitudes and whatnot, and for young girls especially. And I really so what I ended up doing was I did a lot of group building activities, community building activities. I did a lot of think, pair, shares. I got them to interact with girls that, where they can mingle and talk to each other. In order to solve those problems, I really tried to show them how I would want them to treat each other. So I would write them notes. I would compliment them. I would try to tell them when they're doing a good job. Oh, I liked you. I liked how you did this. Can you help somebody else do this? And I really focused on getting them to help one another. Say a kid comes up to me and they're like, oh, Miss Kayla, I'm done with this activity. Oh, great. Can you go ahead and help this person? And if they said no, I'd be like, well, why? If you would want help for something, wouldn't you want somebody to help you? And they'd be like, yeah. So then I tell them, okay, so why don't you go ahead and go over there and help this person, so that way they'll be able to get it too. I tried to keep the respect for each other my main goal. Definitely the second half of the school year. So that was definitely a goal that I wanted to achieve. Did I achieve that goal? Yes. Yes and no. Because as far as the class itself, I feel like the girls were getting better at connecting and really understanding one another. No, because it's a lifelong process. They're going to be with each other for the next, Lord knows how long, probably to elementary school, probably to middle school, maybe even to high school, maybe even to college, who knows. So it's a continuous thing. And one of the things that I definitely learned from this experience working with elementary school kids is that I'm not going to have it right the first year down. Even when I come into my own classroom, I'm not going to get it right. I'm going to be growing. That's the thing I have to keep telling myself. But the things that I do get right, the things that do come up positively from this experience or that I've learned, to continue to do that. One of the things that I did was that I asked a lot of questions with my coworkers and my coordinator and my managers, even the questions on how I can get books that were related to community. How can I get some community activities together? How can I get some lessons that were a part of building classroom management, building classroom community? That was my biggest thing out of the year, was community. And I'm working that into this upcoming year. Building those community, building that consistency with the expectations and procedures, and building those relationships. That's the thing that I would really want all of you, for those of you who are interested in teaching. So yeah, so my experience with elementary school kids, I love them. I love it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I wouldn't change a thing at all. Nothing. How many times I cried, how many times I smiled, they made me laugh, how many times they impressed me with their amazing, amazing, amazing performances. Oh my gosh. I love their performances. They surprised me so many times. We've always struggled with rehearsals and trying to get them to cooperate during rehearsals. But when they got on that stage, and they saw their families and they saw everybody there, they just shined. It was amazing. Oh my gosh, they shined. They killed it. Their last performance, they did good. So what I had to do over the school year was, our first one was, as far as I think it was like books that we read. And I did it on one of the books that we read called The Sandwich Swap. And the girls really had an idea when we got done with the book to make little flags. So we got like the little popsicle sticks, and we cut out papers and they glued the flags, and they got to learn about different countries, because my class was probably the most diverse class out of the entire program. Which was amazing, because I got to learn a lot of the different cultures, hear different languages, different things like that. So it was awesome. And so the girls decided they wanted to do that, and then I just had them redo the skit, the sandwich swap skit, and they killed it. I wish I would have got on video. Awesome work. And then we did an African American event, which was in the spring. Sorry, I heard something. In the spring, ended up learning about different African American women. One group did Michelle Obama, another group did Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles, another group did Viola Davis, another group did India Arie, another group did Oprah Winfrey, and they all got to get on stage, and and I was at a training, and I saw a TV host. And I was like, Holy Spirit was dropped in my spirit, do that. I was like, yes, we're doing this. I had 3 girls. One was Simone Biles, Simone Biles, India Arie, and Gabby Douglas represent one of them. Then I had 2 girls be the host. And they killed it. They killed it. Like, at the end of it, everybody was like, I loved it. I loved it. They surprised me so much. And then at the end of the year, we ended up doing a skit. We actually created our own skit about the homeless. So we did a bunch of research on different homeless shelters. What does homeless mean? We read a book about somebody who was homeless. So the skit that I had them do was, I wanted them to understand that homelessness does not necessarily mean people who live on the street. Although they are homeless and they don't have a home and they live on the street, I wanted them to understand that somebody who's homeless could be could be at your school, could be in your classroom right now. And I think a lot of girls took to heart that, because they didn't really understand that. So when I asked them, like, what does homelessness mean to you? What does it look like? What do people who are homeless do? Why do you think they're homeless? A lot of people thought instantly went to, oh, people that live on the street. But it was actually, that's only one part of homelessness. I really wanted them to understand that it is somebody, it could be somebody in their classroom. And they killed that. They really, they did their best work on that too. And the kids, I just took what the kids told me about their experience. I mean, told me about their experience with homelessness, and then also their answers and what they researched, and I just compiled it into a skit. So I really let my girls do a lot of the work. I really let my girls do a lot of the work. For first and second graders, that was a heavy topic for them, but they did a good job. They understood the concept. They understood what homelessness meant. They understood the project. They understood everything. So everything that I would give them, they really got. They took a lot from it, and I hope it sticks with them for the rest of their lives. So yeah, so with that, we also do Wednesday clubs. So the two clubs I came up with was art and astronomy. So for art, I just kind of had them like, what was that? What's it called? It was called, I think it was called, draw my line. No, but it was about drawing and how it can be used in every form. So what they when I had them do, I used the milk and food coloring activity with the soap. I did that, and they loved it. They all wanted to do it. It was so fun. So we ended up doing that. I had them create self portraits. We read a book on different artists of color. So we read that, and then I had them create their own story. So that was really cool. It was fun activity. So I did that for two sessions, two sessions for in the fall, and then for the spring I did astronomy, and I called it NASA Kids. And what we learned all about planets, we learned about the sun, moon, stars, astronauts. We did everything. And for that one, I really enjoyed that one. I think I'm gonna do that one again. So what I ended up doing for that one was I took a lot of stuff I found. That's when I found a TPT, Teachers Pay Teachers, which became my best friend. I still love Teachers Pay Teachers. So I took some activities from Teachers Pay Teachers to help me support with that Wednesday club. And one of it was a flip book of the solar system. That was really cool. I still actually have it, but it's not here, so my mom's house. So I did that, and then I used videos to my advantage. Videos, and that's one of the things I want to take into next year is using the use of videos. And I actually link the website or the YouTube videos that I got the videos from for the club on astronomy, and I'll link it in the description box. Everybody loved the sun video. I thought the sun video was amazing. I got a revelation from it. But yeah, so that was definitely cool. And then I just did like different activities with them. So my after-school program is based off of literacy, and we make sure that kids are reading at their grade level or beyond their grade level. So all kids by the end of second grade should be reading at their grade level, because it's so unheard of kind of as right now, because it's technology, a lot of kids aren't reading like that. So really trying to get them to read at their grade level or beyond. A lot of my kids were at fourth grade reading level by the time they were done with second grade, which was surprising, but was really awesome because I got to use them as resources for help. Yeah. So to my high school, so to this past summer. So over the summer, I am working currently as a intern program leader with Girls Inc. with 9th and incoming 10th and 11th graders, and how it's just a regular 6-week program, summer program, but it's based off high school kids. So I worked with intern ones, which are incoming 10th graders. So basically how it works is that high school kids they have internships over the summer, and they go to those internships Monday through Wednesday, and then they come to us Thursday and Friday for activities with us. So while my girls were at their internships Monday through Wednesday. Wednesday, I did prep for Thursday and Friday. So Thursdays, what happens is we have those are called Empowerment Thursdays because the high school program is Eureka. So we have Empowerment Thursdays, which are different workshops that the kids go to. So my workshops were finance, health and sexuality, professional development, youth development, internship based programming, different things like that. How to act at your internship, how to act at a job interview, what type of questions to ask for a job interview, what type of questions will be asked of you, how to shake somebody's hand, basic things like that I personally wish I would have got when I was in high school. Those are the different workshops that we held on Thursdays. Fridays were set aside for field trips. So the field trips that they got to go out to was Benefit, which is a makeup company. Pandora, they got to go to Oakland Airport. They also got to go kayaking or surfing. So I went with the intern ones, which was my girl group. I went with them the first week. I went with them kayaking, and I've never been kayaking before. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot challenging than I would have thought because it's a lot of arm movement. It was cool. So it was a lot. It was great experiencing that with them, and for a lot of them, it was their first time there. And also myself, so it was good experiencing that with them. I wasn't nervous because I knew we were gonna be fine. I was a little nervous once we got on the water though. I got to sit with two of my other girls to see 3 in a kayak, which was cool. So we did that first week, and then the second week I went with the intern 2s, which were the 11th grade. I went with them to Chevron, which is in San Ramon, and that was cool. And last week we had 2 field trips. So we went to the lake last Friday, and then we went to Oakland Airport. And this week's our last week, so we are going to we're having our celebration. So tomorrow we're having our Eurekathon, which is a field day activity that all the girls, high school and middle school, and the senior girls get to go to. And then Friday, it's the ceremony for all the girls. So yeah, I really enjoy working with high school kids. My girls are really like calm and relaxed, and they're kind of quiet. I kind of had to break them out of that quietness, so I did that by just doing different activities, try to get them to talk. I told a lot of my personal stories and my personal experiences with the different workshops that we were doing. Yeah, so it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I liked how it was set up. So I did elementary school first, the first year, and then I feel like high school was kind of like my break. It was kind of like a breakaway from little kids. It was like my breakaway from elementary school. So I got to like really just be calm and relax and just, have adult conversations. So that was like really cool. So that's how I really like that setup. So yeah, I definitely love my job. I love working with kids. I love the experience that I've had. If you have any questions more about education, if you want to know more, if you just have any questions, honestly, definitely comment down below. I'll be happy to get to those questions, get those out. Probably not Sunday, probably Monday. Yeah, hopefully by Monday. So if you want to know more about my experience working with kids, working with elementary school kids, high school kids, shoot me a comment in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I'm so glad that you guys were here to join me. Definitely stay tuned for the next video. If you have any comments, please comment down below. If you go ahead and subscribe, and I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.